Hey everyone, so I am here for a legitimate book haul. Like this haul, just books, as far as I know. I have a couple packages that I haven't opened yet, but books aplenty, and I am very excited about it. Not only because I'm excited about books again and reading again, but like I've been acquiring books on my I went to a bookstore and shopped for books for myself. It felt great. It felt really good. So, let me tell you about the books that I got, that were sent to me, that you guys sent. Let's just get into the haul. Okay, we cleared off the table so I can start stacking. First off, I have a couple books sent to me from Berkley, which I'm so excited to talk to you about. Both of them. I'm so excited for both of them. So, the first one is Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake, who this is like her debut adult romance novel. And it's queer and it sounds so good. And also, can we talk about this cover? Hold on, let me get my face out of it. How cute is this? Like, look at her with her sleeves and her camera, and look at this dress. Like, her boots, I can't. The queer vibes in this is just, it's impeccable. Okay, so the little tagline is a clever and steamy queer romantic comedy about taking chances and accepting love with all its complications by debut author Ashley Herring Blake. I guess debut to like the adult romance world, to Berkley, you know? So obviously this is gonna be a sapphic romance, and we are following Delilah Green as our main character, who is her, and she is a photographer, and I think she ends up being convinced to do a wedding shoot for her estranged stepsister or something, and she plans to just like go and do it and get it over with, and she's just living her single life, just like sleeping with women left and right, doing her career, you know, living the dream. And she ends up meeting Claire, who I'm assuming is this fine specimen here. And I think they hit it off and are like coping with all of like the wedding festivities together. And it sounds so cute. It sounds so fun. I can't wait to see how Ashley Herring Blake writes in like adult romance. It's gonna be adorable. Feels very fitting for February. Am I right? Okay, speaking of fitting for February, this exists. This is Black Love Matters, and this is edited by Jessica P. Pride, but the blurb says real talk on romance being seen in happily ever afters, and this is essentially a collection of essays all by Black authors and readers just about representation in the romance world. I'm so excited to read this. So the blurb here is an inclusive intersectional essay anthology that celebrates and examines romance and romantic media through the lens of Black readers, writers, and cultural commentators. Edited by Book Riot contributor and librarian Jessica Pride. But the list of names here is so exciting. So it's not only readers and reviewers, it's also writers, journalists, and authors included. So some of the names that you might recognize, Jasmine Guillory is in here, Adriana Herrera, Kosoko Jackson, Beverly Jenkins, Christina C. Jones. Like, we've got some really good voices in here, and I'm so excited. So all of them have written essays that contribute just to discussing Black romance, and I'm so excited to read this, especially in February during Black History Month, so perfect timing. Also, can we talk about the perfect, like, purple matching vibes we've got going on so far? It's great. Okay, let's talk about some books that I got for myself, because I went to Second & Charles a couple days ago and traded in a ton of books, as I do periodically as I unhaul from my shelves. So I basically just accrue obscene amounts of store credit to Second & Charles, and occasionally I'll just go through and just splurge on things, which is what I did this time. Ooh, speaking of splurging, I finally got these. I can't even tell you how excited I am to have these. I have wanted these since they released years ago. And they are not the most expensive, like leather-bound fancy editions of books ever, but like they're pricey. This little box set is $60, and I've never wanted to bite the bullet, but I had a ton of store credit that covered this, and I was so excited. So this is The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings in the mini leather-bound editions that are so cute. Like, look how cute these are. They're little pocket versions. The text is so tiny, but these also, I didn't realize, have little illustrations in them. The end of Return of the King has a ton of appendices of like family trees and maps and just like history of Middle Earth. Like, it has a lot of extras in it for how tiny these are. So I have always wanted these. Oh, they smell good. They smell like new books. So I bought them, and I could not be more excited, especially because I'm doing a reread. I'm reading The Hobbit right now. I might do a full reread of the Lord of the Rings. But I'm thinking of busting out the Silmarillion again because I haven't touched that since my Lord of the Rings phase back when I was a teenager, back when the original trilogy of movies came out. But with the new show coming out, and it's also in the Second Age of Middle-earth, which is like untouched as far as media goes, I think I'm going to start doing some like research, is that the proper phrase? Like, I might go through the Silmarillion and I might start going through all of the old like history books of Tolkien's world, like the Untold Tales and all of like the back history, because like obviously Tolkien has created an entire world with an entire history and textbooks of languages and races and maps and atlases of a fictional world that I just adore. So this was step one, was get myself pretty editions to reread. And step two will commence as the year progresses. I think the show comes out in September, so I have until then to refresh my memory of all things Middle-earth. And I'm so excited. Then while I was waiting for them to go through my books that I turn in, which takes a while because your girl turns in a lot of books, I was perusing the shelves because that's what you do. So I picked up a couple books, not too many. Honestly, I didn't even go in the romance section, which is weird for me. But I picked up Obsidian, and this is by Sarah J. Daly. First of all, this cover. Am I right? This was like a brand new release. This came out at the end of January, and it just sounds right up my alley. This is kind of fantasy. It gives me dystopian vibes a little bit. Shade Knox is the only witch in a land of wizards. A fiend, a rogue, a wanted criminal is the tagline. So our main character is Shade, who sounds like a freaking badass. She wears her tattoos openly and carries obsidian blades at her hips. For years, she's protected the outcast clans who wandered the blighted wastes, but the land is growing unstable and her blades are no longer enough. So it sounds like, I think she needs to raise a veil of protection, and she needs to go to a Brotherhood church in order to do that. And she uncovers a lot of their secrets and lies. So it's this common, like, ally rivalry between the church and her, because, like, she needs them to help raise this veil, but she knows a lot of their secrets, so she's kind of blackmailing them to help her, and they want her dead. So, you know, just some rivalry going on. It sounds honestly freaking cool, and I am trying really hard to find not only badass women female leads in fantasy and sci-fi novels, but I'm also trying to find like really good female authors in the genre, just because it's been a white male dominated field for quite some time. Am I right? So speaking of that, I moved into sci-fi. I have wanted to read this for so long. This is Polaris Rising by Jessie Mahalik. Yeah, sure. This is like a space opera type of story, but it's, I think, mostly pitched as like a sci-fi romance. Sounds awesome. Has a badass chick with like a blaster on the cover. A space princess on the run and a notorious outlaw soldier become unlikely allies in this imaginative, sexy space opera adventure, the first in its exciting sci-fi trilogy. I've heard really good stuff about this. This has been raved about for quite some time now, so I'm very excited to get to it. So I was pumped to find a copy there. And then next is the book that I am currently reading. I'm reading it in very small doses in the morning when I first wake up. This is The Beauty by Aliyah Whiteley. This cover, first of all, is incredible. It's very short. The tagline that got me is a blurb from Paul Tremblay, who's a horror author, that says, "The brilliant gender-bending post-apocalyptic horror fable that the world needs right now. This book messed me up in the best way possible." So I'll just read the synopsis. It's short, because I don't know how to pitch this otherwise. Somewhere away from the cities and towns, in the Valley of the Rocks, a society of men and boys gather around the fire each night to listen to their history recounted by Nate, the storyteller. He's our protagonist. Requested most often by the group is a tale of the death of all women. They are the last generation. One evening, Nate brings back new secrets from the woods. Peculiar mushrooms are growing from the ground where the women's bodies lie buried. These are the first signs of a strange and insidious presence unlike anything ever known before. Discover the beauty. So, I am only this far into it, and that's literally what I've read so far. I've met Nate, and I've met a couple of the other guys that are around, and I just saw like the first night at the campfire where he kind of told the story of like what happened to the women. But they found this weird yellow fungus or like mushroom that's growing in the cemetery, and they bring it back and they're like, this isn't normal. The animals are staying away from it and it's only appearing on the graves. And I just got to the first scene of Nate being like trapped out in the woods, and this like mushroom monster came out of the ground, and it's like basically what the women turned into. They're like these like yellow fungus things. It's super creepy. It's very like lyrical writing. So far, it's superb. And it's very short because this book actually includes a second story in it that starts like here. So this is only like this one is The Beauty and this one is Peace Pipe, which is another short story by the same author. So I'm hooked so far. That was just a bizarre little book that grabbed my attention and I had store credit, so I said, that's mine, thank you. Okay, next, I've got some gifts that you guys sent to me. These are the gift slips that I have in the books. I have already opened most of them. I apologize, I could not wait. So these are from Claire. Thank you so much, Claire. You have no idea how much I was about to start these books, and you just blessed me with them. This is the Sinners and Devils duet, I want to say is what the duet is called, by Sophie Lark. The book 1 is There Are No Saints, and book 2 is There Is No Devil. So, as you guys know, I binged through the Brutal Birthright series by Sophie Lark, and I am starting the Kingmaker series, which is like the spin-off of that. This is a completely separate standalone duet that just was calling my name. This like swept the book community at the end of 2021. This is a serial killer romance, which I love. So as somebody who got deep into the dark romance world, specifically with the Madly Darkly duet by Trisha Wolfe, which is another serial killer duet. So one, Claire, if you haven't read Born Madly and Born Darkly by Trisha Wolfe and you like these, read that because it's great. So I actually started this one and I am almost done with it as we speak. I started it on my Kindle before you sent me these, and I am not kidding, I'm probably like this far from the end already. So I've already started this. I love it. I can't put it down. Not for the faint of heart. Definitely a very, very dark romance. Because obviously there's going to be questionable things in here, so check trigger warnings if you're iffy about, you know, guys who murder people. Probably don't read this, so tossing that out there. But thank you so much, Claire. You have no idea how excited I was to get these because I was currently reading them already. You know my taste very, very well. Okay, the next thing was a gift sent to me from Maria, so thank you, Maria. I did indeed get it. I have had this on my wish list and my like to read list for a very long time, but I never hear people talking about it. I don't even know how I stumbled across it. But that is The House that Death Built by Mel Stone. First of all, this cover is stunning. This is like a dark Gothic romance. It sounds right up my alley. It's very dark. It follows Joy, who is our protagonist, and she is a seamstress. She lives a simple life with her family and is determined to never marry for fear of passing her strange trait to any offspring. I don't know what her strange trait is. And then Arthur steps into her shop and he immediately brings color and chaos into her ordered life. So I'm assuming that is the love interest. But is Arthur the charming potential husband that he makes himself out to be? After all, he already buried a wife under what can be considered suspicious circumstances. I'm excited. So there's not many Gothic romances out there. I would consider like Gothicana that. But it's one of my favorite genres. And if you're going to toss in like a dark romance with questionable things in it, I am here for it. So I've been so excited to read this. It's been sitting on my wish list for ages. So thank you, one, to Maria for bringing it into my life. And I will let you guys know what I think of it. I am so excited to read this though. So thank you. Next, we have this box, which I'm going to bust open. And this is, oh, exciting. Oh, this is also from Maria. Whoa. And you are from Iceland. And you also love horses and dogs and cats. I love you so much. Okay. So this is Crossing the Line by Kareem Rosser. This is one of my top reads that I read of last year. This is a nonfiction book about a black boy who gets into the horse world, and it basically just opens up the discussion of representation in like a very privileged white sport. But it follows him as a kid who ends up going to the Work to Ride stables that is in Center City, Philly, which is like a program where kids basically give them an opportunity to get off the streets and go and learn how to care for horses and learn how to ride horses in exchange for like mucking stalls and cleaning tack in the barn. And he works his way up through the polo industry and ends up on like an elite team at a military academy and is one of the best riders in the world, and he's black, and that was like the big story. It's fantastic. It's one of the best nonfiction books I've ever read. I've already reread it. It is phenomenal. If you guys haven't picked this up and you have any interest in like the sport, it's great. Highly recommend. So thank you, Maria, for sending me two of my like most anticipated books and favorite books of last year. So yeah, I did indeed receive your gifts, and your note is going right in the book. Okie dokie. And lastly, I got this little package in my P.O. box with this in it and this note. So this is from Crafts of the Clan, is the shop, and this is from Megan, who sent me the loveliest note that also made me cry, so I'm glad I opened this off camera. So this is one of those elastic bookmarks that I love that she made. Her company is Crafts of the Clan, so it has a stretchy band that goes around your books. But she made it, and it's inspired by Manny, so thank you guys so much. It has this little dangly paw print part that hangs off of it, and it's Manny's colors. And I just loved it so much. It made me cry in the car, so thanks. No, I'm just kidding. The outpouring of love that you guys shared over us having to put Manny down was like so heartwarming. It's like still one of the hardest things to talk about, but you guys genuinely caring really helped me through that. So thank you so much for this. This will be treasured forever. We'll let the little paw print hang over. Thank you, Megan, so much. Okay, so that was my most recent book haul, I believe. I think that's everything that I've acquired since the last book haul. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much to everyone who sent me things. I am so excited to be reading again and excited to be excited about books again. So it feels good, feels good. That is going to be it, and I'll see you guys in my next video.